What is going on? My name is BoIt and I'm back with some more Age of Titans action. Spawning in the bottom of the map in the blue color, playing Loki, is, I think, Nigam. He's a Smurf, and that's who I'm going to call him by. If it's not Nigam, I'm sorry, I'm pretty sure it's Nigam. On the other side of the map, in the red color, playing as Zeus. If you haven't heard of him, now you have. His name is Magyar, and he, in many players' opinion, many people's opinion, is the greatest of all time in this game. This game is not recent. It's not a recent game, so no, he hasn't come back. He's not back to his top level or anything like that. He sort of just comes on every now and again for certain things, such as the RTSL. Sometimes. I don't think I've seen him in one recently, but he used to come back for those. In any case, he, in my opinion, is the greatest of all time. In many other people's opinion, is the greatest of all time. And yeah, this game was played back in the day, when people still played gods like Loki. And we do see Nigam trying out Loki versus Zeus. This map is on Watering Hole, so there's a lot of hunt. So the chances of Loki being able to succeed in this map would be much higher because Norse has an extremely strong game. He has a very strong game on a high hunt map, as opposed to the Greek player, who sort of doesn't really benefit all too much from having a high hunt. It's sort of the same in terms of how most Titans players play this game. I would not be surprised to see a sort of classical fight from our Zeus player. If he goes Athena, that's a possibility, but I'm probably going to suspect the Hermes play just because from what my memory recalls of Magyar's play, he does love to use Hermes. He does love Centaur, and he does love using that ceasefire in his own right, his own way. And he goes around and he does good stuff like that. From Nigam's perspective, I can see this game going along the Forseti route with the Hall of Thane's Ursa, and with a very semi-fast heroic sort of play, just to abuse that flaming weapons. But with a ceasefire there, he might have to convert that into a semi-fast mythic, or he's going to have to put some intense pressure onto Magyar in order to prevent him from, in order to force him, to use that ceasefire really early. I don't think that Magyar is going to fall for that one. That's a low-level play there, and it doesn't very much work on these top-level players. They play safe and they play securely, or not safe and they play extremely aggressively, and that in turn counters what needs to happen. And look at this, he's got 7 villages on food, he's got 3 villages on the wood, and 3 villages on the gold, so he's definitely got his economy going already, so that's good for our Zeus player. Nigam, on the other hand, he's got 6 villages on food, he's got 3 or 4 villages currently on the gold mine with a couple of gatherers instead of dwarves, and he's got a couple of villages on wood as well. He's going to probably shift those gatherers over to the wood eventually and just build some dwarves out to get the efficiency coming from the gold mine. Unfortunately for the Loki player, his gazelle did run out. This means he's going to have to move forward to something like this, or move off to the left and gather some of these, or to the back. This probably would have been the better route, but I don't know if he spotted it. Yeah, he spotted it. The better route, instead of moving forward and grabbing these, would be to move to the back, because if I go over to Magyar's perspective, he's got his temple going up. He's going to be in the classical age very soon. When that temple goes up, he's probably going to even build a Jason early, and he can just send that over there if he scouts it. And if we go to his fog of war, he hasn't yet scouted over there, but we do see him moving over there right now, see? So he's going to spot this hunting pack and go, okay, Jason's coming out, I'm going to harass that, and that's going to force... It's going to be a bit hard for... Oh, actually, does he spot it? There we go, he spots it. So it's just going to force a bit of an issue for the food gatherers of our Loki player. Nigam, he'll be going through Forseti very soon though, so he does have the option of retreating out of here. He's chucking a wall there, but remember, if he did send his village over there, then the walking time wouldn't have been hit that much. I think it would have been the same amount of walking time from there to there as from there to there anyways. So this decision making, probably in my opinion, isn't the greatest, just because it's not safe. And we'll just see if he is doing what I said. Looks like he is. He's going to get that Jason out. He's going to move that forward and see what he can do with that. It's very clever. However, I don't think that it's going to affect Nigam all too much. He's going to get that Hersa out very shortly in order to defend that. He's got pickaxe, hand axe coming out. He's probably got pickaxe as well very shortly, coming afterwards. No, we're going to get that soon, but he wants to get that Hersa. Actually, he wants to get husbandry really, really early. It's a bit odd. No, he's not getting husbandry, he was just spamming it. He's got the Herso coming out, which is going to allow him to defend against this Jason, which is impending. Unless he's grabbing a relic. It's Pandora's box, so that's not a bad relic, especially if he's going... Oh, he's going Athena. This is exciting. I haven't seen Athena play... See how the meta changes? If I'm stuck in this 2014 now, it is New Year's. I'm stuck in this new 2013-14 meta, where Zeus players play very safe, they play securely with Hermes, and they only rip out Athena in a best of like 9 game, or best of 5 game or something like that, where they want to shake things up and keep people on their toes. Because if you know your opponent's playing Hermes, then you can sit there and go, okay, you're playing Hermes, I'm going to do this instead. I'm going to take a risk here, and I'm going to say you're doing Hermes, so I can abuse this and grab maybe an early second age upgrade from the economy, and that's not going to set you behind because you're not going to get that insane pressure from stuffing. And this is something that the Loki players really love to do. They love to get that second temple up early so they can get those Herso coming out a little bit quicker. The temples are a little bit more expensive in terms of what you get, but you get those extra Herso out quicker. So you pay 100 gold for earlier Herso, so it's not all too bad. It's a little bit less wood as well, and when you need to be saving that wood for the Hall of Thanes upgrade, it's not a bad thing. You see the Odysseus out as well. It's going to be attacking that Herso. He's just eating away here to get that 10 favor. Currently got 5 Herso out already, so they're going to be doing good. They're going to be doing some work. So comes back. He's going to just keep on knocking away at this house, but it's probably not going to die. He's got the 10 favor now, so he can't get that Hall of Thanes. So there we go. Hall of Thanes is researching. So it looks like, ooh, this is a little bit risky here. If he's moving these into the center of the map, then he's going to be wanting to fight before he really needs to fight, because he wants to secure this middle hunt location. Unfortunately for Nigam, there's this back elephant, which is going to be huge. And you see a couple of barracks out, and 3 barracks out, because he's got so much hunt. He's so confident with the hunt, so he's pushing that 3rd barracks. Generally speaking, you're going to see 3 archery ranges and 2 barracks, but because the Hall of Thanes Toxito aren't that great, and because they miss, they're a little bit inaccurate in terms of when Hall of Thanes are moving around. And we do see a little bit of a raid coming in here, moving around, going to pick off a couple of these villages on the wood line, but I believe the Magi is going to be reacting to that quick enough. It's going to move these hoplite around to the back and just deal with these Hersa. Hersa are going to come over to this food line now, but in all honesty, they might pick off for 1 village if he goes for that one, but he's just going to be running around now. He could probably turn on this army and just micro a little bit and pick off a hoplite, but unfortunately for him, it looks like Magi's still on top of that. A couple of these Herso now coming in and pick off this Minotaurs, but a couple of idle Herso here though. He might want to get those into the little bit of the skirmish going on here. And we see again the Herso just running around. They're not going to be able to pick off anything, but as long as you chase them, they're going to get out of there. And once they get out of there, you can just wall off probably over this location and this location, and it'll be pretty safe. We do see Jason taking some hurt there, and it was the Nigam currently sitting at 59 population to Magi 64, so at this point it's definitely in the favour of Magi to start fighting. We do see that the auto queue is still going for our Loki player, so he doesn't want to do some semi-fast heroic with the flaming weapons. He does have currently 10, well actually he has 11 Herso now. So generally speaking, if you're doing a fast heroic with Loki, you want to do maybe 10 Herso. However, there is the fact that this is high hunt, so he could be building that armory up, getting maybe 15 Herso, and then doing the heroic age. And you can see that Nigam was a bit of a prick there. He's picking off some of those gazelle. Building this dock here, it's not going to come into play pretty much at all, except for perhaps if these dudes move over to here. But I don't know about that. We do see the dock going up. Maybe some longboats are going to be used there to control this and fight in this location. You do see that the villagers are in a bit of an awkward spot there. He's going to lose one of those. So 1 HP does manage to pick that off. And this is not a fight that you want to. This is not a fight you want to fight if you are the Loki player. Just going to try and pull out of here, sacrifice one of these myth units just for the safety of these villagers. But it looks like another one of those villagers may fall. No, looks like Magi pulling back a little bit there, unfortunately. We see a raid coming in now, and this is how you have to play this. You need to sacrifice stuff from your army for villagers and just sort of distract until you hit that critical point where you can deal with this Zeus army. But when there are hoplite here, hoplite shred buildings so quickly, and you can just move in here and take out this location. If there's no watchtowers here as well, it's going to be very difficult to sort of defend. So I think he should be researching that right now. if not before. Magi's just going to push in and kill off these houses in no time flat. A couple of these Toxotos sitting in the back line here for some reason though. It's a little bit confusing there. Maybe he squibbed them weirdly and he's just not used to it. I don't know. But he's going to move that in right now. Deal with the Hersa trying to poke at his hoplite. But if you can move in and take out this temple in this location here, then that's a gold mine that's going to come into play perhaps, but not really, because there's this large gold mine at the back, which is probably not going to get extinguished until 12 minutes or 13 minutes. So that's pretty good for our Loki player in terms of dealing with this Athena regression. And now we have some Hoplite and Toxoto chasing around some Hersa, and now the villagers really using the clever wits of Magi, using these villagers to path block those Hersa, and managed to pick off one there. Could have picked off two if he did focus that town center onto the low HP Hersa there, but unfortunately for Magi he didn't do that quick enough. Town centers do have a 10 out of 10 tracking rating, so they can pick off anything, unlike the Toxotos, which have not a 10 out of 10, it's more like a 5 out of 10 on the tracking rating or something like that. Not exactly sure, but yeah. Yeah. Do you see the Ursa trying to pick off the wall, taking his time there. That hammer is not going to do all too much damage to the wall. Oh, and this is a huge raid here. We see the Hoplite and Toxoto just coming right in onto the gold line of Nigam. If he does not watch out there, he's going to eat a bunch of those dwarves. Unfortunate for Nigam, but he does have this safe gold mine over here that he can move to. You do see that a bunch of those dwarves died. He probably could have saved all of those if he managed to garrison them into the town centers, the low HP ones, and just run the rest away. That would have been really smart. But now the question is Nigam going to retaliate here and surround this army? He does have 3 Hersa here. He does have 13 Hersa there against the 115 population Zeus army. And this Zeus players, this Magi is going to actually probably go to the heroic age. He's chucking up his armory. Again, this is something you don't normally see in these Titans games. Generally, you'll see that second town center go up really early, and the heroic age be delayed to like 15 minutes or something like that. But it could be a possibility that that Magi wants to skip the heroic age altogether, skip that second town center until he gets to the mythic age. And that's generally something that I do when I play Zeus, because Zeus's heroic age is so abysmal. It doesn't really give anything except for counter infantry and the fortress. Now you can use that fortress to push in and contain the enemy, but it's really not going to do all too much except for contain. So you get to the heroic age, the mythic age is doubled in Myrmidon, and you just like you hit that thing, that unstoppable force. And we do see Dionysus for our Zeus player instead of Underworld, which is a little bit surprising, but understandable because of the amount of gold in the base of, and the protected gold is the issue. Generally, if you go Apollo instead of Dionysus, you can get Underworld. You're going to be able to use that Underworld onto the gold mines of your opponent and really cause some havoc there. And the one thing which always gets me about Magi is his inability to build, to get upgrades for his units. He just doesn't do it. He saves his money so well, and his macro is so good, and he always has money in the bank, but he's always saving it for something that he deems more important than his units being upgraded. Unfortunately for for Magi, his villagers there are getting completely slaughtered, but all of our Loki players' units are in the way. They're like all out of position, so he might actually lose his town center here if he's not careful, or a bunch of stuff regardless. And he's going to have to get all of those Herso back to his base in order to deal with this push in here. He's living in a longhouse there. He lost a temple and 3 houses or 2 houses. You can actually see that Nigam's population now sitting at 95 instead of 115, the max population that is. And if you are sitting at full population, you come in and use flaming weapons, and you don't lose any units, you're only going to get favour from that. You're not going to get any myth unit spawns, because you can't spawn myth units if you're at full population. That's something new if you didn't know that one. It's really interesting. And this is actually equally surprising. You see the vast amount of units which Magi has. He has so many units. He's got like 30 right there, he's got 5 Toxoto there, and he's probably got more coming. He's got the Heracles, and he's got like... This is not something you normally see. This this means that he's not getting villagers out. This means that he's sort of behind on villagers, but like he's not. He's using, this is like a really old school meta or strategy. It's where you over militarize early in order to get map control, and then you don't build units after that. When you start getting those town centers, you just build villages. So you delay that economy early, but you get map control and you get it back for late. So it's still really good. And now this is where the biggest issue is going to come with. Flaming Weapons is going to come in here with all of these Hersa. Bronze and Restoration are going to be used here, and this fight can go either way here. And we just see that Nigam going to be retreating out here, wait for that Restoration to finish, and he's just going to run back in there, and he should fight this. Actually, he might not. He might just be like, I can't fight this. What's he sitting at? He's sitting at 115 of 150 population with Flaming Weapons against Bronze. He might run out there in maybe once units get a little bit more stealth, but it looks like he's sending those Battle Blower in to take the brunt of the damage. We do see that Magi microing those stocks to a little bit. He's actually doing the retreat moves there, but he's going to be attempting to fight this. You do see that Loki Rush's units are not dying all too quickly, so it's sitting at 150 population, except Magi's units falling very steadily there. He's now 100 population instead of the 130 that he was, and there's all of these Battle Ball, which is so huge at the moment. Loki Rush are currently auto-killing Battle Ball from his town center, from his temple, sorry, and those are going to be absolutely huge. The Heracles is not in the army at the moment. Does it get picked off, or is it just dead? Because he would go to town if he did good stuff. Hercules actually picking off villagers instead of mid units. It looks like Magi did manage to win that fight, and Loki Russia are actually really far behind here. The bad thing about Loki is you build the two temples and you build the one barracks, and generally you can only supply from those one barracks and two temples if you're constantly supplying from that for the most part of the game. But if you hit 115 population and you start losing, and you start getting a lot of resources in the bank, then that's when you need to start building longhouses. Unfortunately for Loki Russia here, unfortunately for Nigam, he's not going to have any gold mine to go to because Magi's got a stranglehold here. He's got this location completely boxed in. This gold mine here is available, but the Toxotor of Magi is just going to come in here and probably pick those off as soon as he's noticed that that does have the vision scouted perspective. We have a look at that, and we do see he's mining from that gold mine. Magi's not going to have any of that. He's like, no, you're not allowed to use that. That's my gold mine. I want to win this game. He's going to pick those off slowly but surely. The Odysseus currently microed onto one of those battle balls. You see he is taking that intense amount of damage. And it does get picked off right there. We're going to just see him completely move on to the next battle ball. And what I would be doing with those Toxotos is probably, you can pick off the Hersa, but generally picking off those Gatherers is going to be huge. And you just see that he's currently picking off Gatherers at the moment, so that's a good thing for him. That Hydra sitting at 3 HP is kind of worthless at the moment. It costs like 5 populations, so yeah. If you got 3 HP left on that and you're sitting at full pop, and I would just let it die, because it's going to die in one shot. It's not going to do any damage. It's going to do one damage, 2 damage. Oh shit, it's doing work. Total worth. Wow. Oh, that's not good for Reese. He's going to die. Oh my god, he's still alive. That's the hero Hydra. The hero Hydra staying alive for days. Just doing work, and he's going to move in here. He's got to die real soon, because he's currently taking up population. There we go, we do see the Hydra getting picked off there. Heavy hoplite now picked up for Magi. You can actually see that he hasn't got any armory upgrades either. He despises armory upgrades with a passion. I wish I had a chance to talk to him about his thoughts and about his strategy and why he does such things. And maybe it's not that he doesn't mean to, because he's currently just spamming units like a crazy man. But I want to know if it's because he forgets or because he feels that there's better resources to spend. Because we see that Nigam has like the classical upgrades, the copper upgrades already, and his army is going to start being really strong. And if he wins this fight here, then that's going to be that town center, that's going to be that town center. It's going to be very difficult for our Zeus player to really come back and win this game in the late game, because he's not going to be able to get there. We do see that the heavy Toxotos are upgraded now, and he's going to continue to try and micro back in this army. His units are on the dying stretch. He's still only got the 5 military buildings built in the first place. He'll probably throw up another archery range, start building some more Toxotos from that. But these hostiles are going to do work on the Toxoto, and the army of Nigam is just doing absolute work on Magi. He's actually going to be struggling for a little bit. And we just see the Nigam sitting at 100 population now. He's continuously pushing his units in here, and he has to keep this pressure on, otherwise Magi's going to reach full pop again and be able to turn this fight around. Because at this point they're fighting out, they're duking out with the strong army of Loki with those classical upgrades, and it's sort of strong from Magi, but it's really it's struggling because it doesn't have any copper upgrades. And we do see the battle boars out again, so he's got some meat in his army. It's going to be difficult for him to deal with that. Do we see some heroes out for Magi? Currently only got the Odysseus. He actually deleted the Odysseus there to rebuild him because he was at half HP. Something that you sometimes see Greek players do, because there's no point in having a low hero unit out, because that means that you're going to lose that really quickly and then not do any damage to anything. So, smart play by Magi, but he's actually not going to get it. Oh, there, he does get it out. He did delete something or other. And we just see that Hersa just scouting out here. See how he's taking no damage. He's actually free to walk through the army unless he gets trapped. We do see that this wall here might serve as a trap here if Magi chooses to fight over this region. We'll see if he does manage to do that. And we do see that Hersa now going to attempt to pick off the villager. Villager might die, but it should be alright there. He does manage to keep him alive with 1 HP to spare. Unlucky for Nigam, lucky for Magi, but he should send that back to work sooner or later. That town center now going up for our Loki player, and it's currently 2-2 town centers, and there is an Ulfstark building this back town center up, and there's a couple of these Toxotos sitting over here not really doing all too much. If he can move in and stop this going up and then put pressure on his wood line, that would be really huge. We'll see if he chooses to do that. Maybe he's actually forgotten. No, he hasn't forgotten that thing. Does he know that there's a town center there? He does know there's a town center there. I'm always interested as to what town centers look like when you start taking them. Because if you kill an animal and you highlight it, and the health bar doesn't come up, it's dead. Yeah, it's gone. It's there. It's gone. Yeah, that's the craziness of this game. We do see the town center getting under fire here, but not going to be able to pick that off. There's too many units here. Magi are going to have to retreat out here. And we do see that this town center almost at halfway completion. You must be getting nervous about those Toxoto coming in and dealing damage to that. The Toxoto too busy trying to kill off the armory, and nice surround there by Nigam. If he gets a battle boar special off in the right order, then he can send a bunch of those units back in here. And we do see that Heracles out, the Odysseus out, so those are going to do work on those battle boar, which he really needs to do. And Magi probably just fighting this fight just to make sure he gets that town center up, and he can just continue to beat him on these battle boar, and he needs to refocus fire that Odysseus onto those other battle boar. And you see he's doing that now. There are more spawning though. The thing about Loki is his first do have that special ability to spawn myth units every time that they get enough favor gathered to do so. They do spawn a myth unit, a random one. You see the battle boss getting picked off slowly but surely, and he's going to push this back. He's got 4 population to our Loki players 110 population, and this army needs to move in over here right now. Unfortunately for them, that town center is going to go up. Magi not focusing hard enough there on the multitasking. He's going to probably hit himself when he sees that town center going up with only 1 Ulfstark. You see that this town center now under siege. If Magi can get this down, then that's going to be huge for him. We're currently in the late heroic age, so it's definitely at the advantage of Magi to keep fighting at the moment to prevent our Loki player to get to that mythic age. And we do see that these Heracles, see that damage doing on those battle boars. Those battle boars aren't weak. They're absolutely huge, and he just keeps whacking away. See him picking those off one by one. Unfortunately, that Heracles is going to get picked off by the town center and a jar, so he's going to stop doing work, and the Odysseus is going to be picking off battle boars as well. And that town center getting ridiculously close to dying. Currently got 7 of those heavy hoplites on the town center. He's currently got the copper upgrades that I was talking about before, and this is why he's been able to push back, I feel, and that's why he started to win fights. Unfortunately for Nigam, he couldn't keep up that armory advantage that he got early. And by that I mean you can't keep getting armory upgrades because he was focusing on other stuff, he couldn't afford it. We do see that if he gets this town center here, that's going to be game, and we do see that Nigam does tap out, says GG. And that's the game. This is an old game, and it's really interesting to watch these old styles and stuff. But when it comes down to it, the game does get back to its medium. The meta of the mid game and the late game sort of hasn't changed all too much. Once people started working out how to use towers and walls and catapult and siege, late game hasn't changed since the start, where people didn't actually build anything. But in the mid game, you've got a little bit of less crispness, less what's the word? Less thought out timings about stuff. Like stuff isn't quite as on the money back then as it is now, and you could see that by such things as the heroic ages. And what they did when they hit the heroic age, and like why they didn't sort of fight as soon as they could when they had the advantages, and they didn't press certain things as well as players nowadays do. So that's a little bit of difference. But the micro of Maggio is absolutely phenomenal. You can see him winning fights that generally you probably wouldn't, and Nigam as well managing to micro those Hersa a little bit as well. Was really nice to watch. So really well played by Maggio. I'm going to be posting a couple of games on. Of Magyars in the next couple of days. I've currently got, if you want me to cast any games, I've got a thread happening at RTS Sanctuary, which I will link in the description box below, so please do go over there if you want me to cast or record a game and post a link to it there, and I will do it. I have seen some people post links in the comment section, but I kind of need them to be saved so I can go and get them when I actually get to the computer, because sometimes the Vubu links say the recorded game isn't there when I go look at it, which has happened a couple of times, unfortunately. Anyways, my name is BoIt, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.